So I use AI in a couple of different ways, but my favorite way to use it as is as my intern, my research assistant, um, my debate opponent. So I'll have to investigate something for something I'm creating or something I'm writing, or just to figure out a perspective on, a particular, maybe a marketing topic or anything. Okay. So I will go through and do my own research. Analytics is an easy one to discuss because everybody knows, you can go to somewhere and see how many people clicked on this, how many people clicked on that, what worked, what didn't work, that kind of thing. Analytics. Um, so I'll go through all my data and go, okay, this is my position. So now I know my position based on my research. Go out industry research, the available analytics, whatever. Okay. Then I will take all of the research that I've got, the analytics that I've got, hand it to the AI, not tell it my position, and ask it, okay, what do you think, given this information, what do you think, what is working, what isn't working, what's the best next step? How would you suggest I move forward? Let it come back to me. Sometimes it'll come up with the plan that I have. Sometimes it'll come up with a different plan. Okay. Then I ask it, okay, you got these additional resources that I hadn't thought of before. So now I've gone through those additional resources. So now on that, maybe here's my position has moved a little, or based on its position or whatever. Here's our two new positions. So I'll tell it, here's my position based on what I thought before. Here's what I thought originally. Here's what I now think. Sometimes it's the same thing. Can you dig a little deeper, find more resources that support this position? Okay, maybe it'll go out and do that. Maybe it'll say, oh, no, there's just a couple of other things, but, whatever. My next question to my little intern research assistant debate opponent is, the AI is, okay, you're now devil's advocate. Argue the opposing position. But first, argue it using only the information that I provided you and that you found in the previous part of the discussion. Don't go look for any new information. Just analyze this information, but argue. Try and convince me the opposite position. Sometimes it'll come back and say, okay, well, here's the argument I could make. Sometimes it'll come back and say, the data we have really doesn't support the opposing position. So then I'll say, okay, devil's advocate, one more thing. You can now add any additional resources that you feel you need. Dig deeper. Argue the opposing position with new data. Let it go out and do it. Sometimes it says, okay, I found this that strengthens this position a little bit, or no, I found this that actually weakens the opposition a little bit, supports the affirming. But I think that's the trick there. So it's not Google searches. It's not, per se. I'm not just saying, hey, go find this piece of information for me and tell me that I am brilliant. I want it to debate with me. And the best way I have found for a debate with you, if you've ever been in a debate club, you're going to argue the affirmative. You're going to argue the against. Okay. And to get the AI to do that, to challenge me, and the resources that it finds that then I can go look up and go, wow, it argued this contrary position. I'm going to go research that a little bit. Here's the sources it found. Here's how it looked at the data. It looked at the data differently than I did. I think that's important. There are so many areas where I think AI is just moving too quickly. We haven't quite gotten our heads around it yet. We haven't figured out what is and isn't good and what works and what doesn't. And we haven't figured out how to get it to always be honest, for lack of a better term. And forthcoming. So, but I think this, and I truly do think of it as a research assistant intern, and then a debate opponent. And I want it to debate with me. I want it to challenge me with whatever resources, and that forces it to find additional resources, which forces me to go analyze those resources myself, to then come back and say, okay, this has either strengthened my opinion or this has altered my opinion. Being a small operation, that's my debate partner and my research assistant. So I don't know, maybe other people already do that. Maybe this is helpful. Maybe this isn't. I just thought it's something I do that works well for me. I think it seems to work well for me, and maybe it'll be useful for you too.